I was sent by the United States Air Force to recover what remained of the USS Leonard, a newly commissioned aircraft carrier. 24 hours following its unexpected disappearance over 25 degrees north, 71 degrees west, North Atlantic Ocean, my superior officer was given orders to dispatch me, along with another airman, to the region in question. Seasoned as I was, there was little room for doubt and insecurity in my mind. When my fellow pilot and I arrived at the coordinates, we found no signs of our missing carrier. We searched the seas until, out of the blue, our navigational system started malfunctioning. The built-in compass began to spin around madly, and our radio connection snapped short. But fret not, I told myself. I have trained for these moments. A good pilot does not need gadgetry to soar the skies. I remained confident as my partner flew above the gathering fog and clouds to get a good look of our locations. He never flew back down. It was then that I realized that I was truly and utterly alone in this strange, eldritch realm. As dense fog caked the windows of my craft, I couldn't tell which way was up or down. The clouds created a rippling illusion that turned the ocean into sky and the sky into ocean, and soon they all mixed into a blanket of mist. My compass was completely out of whack, and the more I tried to escape the suffocating clouds, the more I embedded myself in the chaotic nimbi. Confused and petrified, I drove my plane into one vortex and another, but no matter what I did, I was trapped in the clouds, so thick that they made the ocean and the sky indistinguishable. At the height of my terror, I could barely make out a circular silhouette. No, a gigantic whirlpool of mist, ominous and inevitable. As the clouds carried my plane into the black depths of the whirlpool, I saw rotating rows of what could only be described as serrated teeth, cycling along the circumference of the void like shark fins. As the darkness of the maw overtook me, I realized that I could not tell whether it was in the ocean or the sky. In the year 2078, quite a ways from where we are now, the countries of Ukraine, Romania, Bulgaria, Turkey, Georgia, and Russia will be swept up in tsunamis catastrophic enough to make Poseidon himself take pause. You may note that these countries border the Black Sea, and ultimately that is their only true significance beyond the year 2078. The blood-soaked histories spotted in conquests and subjugations alike are of no importance anymore, sadly. You will find great difficulty in locating anyone who was present at the beaches of these 6 border countries during the Rising. In fact, you'd have trouble finding anybody from those nations. However, if you do manage to snag a survivor and witness, they'll probably talk about the swimmers having the ocean be pulled out from under them like a bad magician performing the tablecloth trick. They'll probably recall the temporary quiet the beachgoers collectively fell into as they watched the tide escape, gaining miles of land as it raced away. There really is a calm before the storm, apparently. They'll talk about the plethora of fish, crabs, eels, and other marine life forms that were stranded, left to suffocate. They might, if you're lucky, even talk about the shadowy figure they saw in the distant horizon, towering above the water as if 10 skyscrapers had merged and ascended in the middle of the Black Sea. They might mention having had to crane their necks to capture the entire scope of the thing, their hearts beating rapidly, throats catching as their minds raced with prehistoric possibilities. Most people would agree that the withdrawal of the tides and arrival of the being in the Black Sea wasn't nearly as terrifying as when the sea came savagely rushing back, or when the being began to walk and roar and, especially, feed, as all beings do. No, what happened to the tides of the 6 borders were nothing compared to what followed. But sometimes it's easier to dwell on the little horrors rather than the incomprehensible, right? When I was a child, I struggled from night terrors. The same dreams over and over again every night for 2 years. When I awoke, I opened my mouth to scream and thrashed out of my bed. Sometimes it would be bad enough that I had to rush out of my room and down the hall, trying my best not to miss the toilet as I vomited. I could swear they were real. I would wake up with a figure in my window, my baby doll walking along the bed, or a grip on my throat. I could feel, smell, and sometimes taste the evil that lingered in my room. I was 8, almost 9 when the nightmares stopped. I was grateful, but it hadn't come soon enough. The dreams had left me traumatized. I had taken on selective mutism. There were times I wanted to speak, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. It was like the words didn't want to physically leave my mouth. I lived like that for years. As a result of the trauma and mixture of anxiety and depression disorders, clearly this was an issue. My mother would break down, begging me to speak. My father left, a drug addict who couldn't stand to be near a child that would not validate his own illnesses by reassuring him of her love. I was 12 before I finally spoke. My throat felt raw, as if I had been screaming for years now. I was shaking and sweating, violently trying to push the words out of my mouth. They came out a whisper. "Mama," I said as she held me and sobbed. "Some horrors just can't be spoken of." "Howdy, stranger. Welcome. Grab yourself a seat." "What's that? Car trouble?" "Yeah, we hear that a lot. Most of our business seems to come from folk like you with car problems. In fact, old Luce thinks maybe we ought to be calling ourselves the Woeside Diner." "You look parched, dear. Here, have a glass. Drink it up. By the way, my name is Bees." "Why?" "'Cause I'm as busy as bees." "Say, you don't seem too well. Kinda sickly looking and all." Must have been something in the water. Anyway, let me tell you about today's special. It's you.